Hi, it's Amy Bo's 8th video, and I think things are really starting to take off. What perhaps started, I realised that I've got us on the wrong slides already, so that's a great start. Things are starting to take off. But anyway, what perhaps started as a crazy pipe dream is that it really wouldn't be safe to try outside a very well-equipped lab, is starting to feel really almost feasible to me. So today I'd like to welcome Gerrit back, no surprise there, as he appeared at the start. Back to the show, I hope this is going to be a fairly significant breakthrough for us. How are you doing, Gerrit?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you.
Excellent. And what's the weather like in Wales today?
Well, it was actually a surprisingly sunny day today. Uncharacteristically sunny. Beautiful winter sun outside. Yeah, I went for a walk earlier and it was, just a really nice day.
Cool.
Winter day, but yeah.
Yeah. So, Gerrit arranged our first journal club last Monday evening, and I think it really was game-changing. Gerrit, have you done many journal clubs before?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think I read about one the other day, and I saw, I think one of our was it Danny was broadcasting some of his journal clubs on YouTube. So I thought, hey, why don't we try it as well?
So do you think that's how they usually go?
I would imagine so. Yeah. No, I think it went really well. We all had a good chat, and I think we learned a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant to be able to have the author there. So we grilled Narcissus on things like his choice of anode and power source and so on. And yeah, for me, that's when things really started to get exciting. But yeah, I've been waiting for the last 9 days then to share that news. Sorry, I was too ill to live stream last week. I think you were off as well, Gerrit, right?
I was sick in bed as well.
Yeah. So anyway, we do live hundreds of miles away, but anyway. So we've waited 9 days, so I think we should wait just a little bit longer, because I think we should reflect on this week's big global news first. So the gavel came down on COP28 today, concluding the first global stocktake, mandated by the Paris Agreement. And on Monday, the UN Secretary-General said it's essential that the global stocktake recognises the need to phase out all fossil fuels on a timeframe consistent with the 1.5 degree limit. If you're a COP watcher, you'll know that phasing out fossil fuels is the contentious language that the world just can't seem to sign up to. But if phasing out all fossil fuels is the requirement for a grade A, I'd like to know, what grade would you give COP28? So if you're watching this live, please let us know in the chat, because we can see the chat immediately. If you're watching this as the recorded version, then let us know in the comments as well. It'd be great to see what you think. Yeah, what grade would you give COP28? Gerrit, what do you think?
I think it started off earlier in the week already with a bit of a contentious words from the COP28 president, where he I guess said the quiet part out loud. I think it's really hard for them to realize what that the writing is on the wall, and that phasing out fossil fuels is the only way to really achieve anything.
So have we got? So what grade would you give then?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. D, E. How low can I go?
Yeah, I think personally, I would give it. I'm not yet. Whatever the lowest, that's still a pass, because I think it is. Yeah, they did manage to get fossil fuels in there. It was a lot better than the draft, certainly. So anyway, we'll see. So methane emissions, they also, let me get the text up. Yeah, methane emissions, they came in as well in the final text, accelerating and substantially reducing non-CO2 emissions, including in particular methane emissions, globally by 2030. So that is great news for our ambitions to replace livestock protein. Methane is also considered a quick win, as well as it being 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide over 20 years. It's relatively short-lived in the atmosphere, so that one took me a while to get my head round, but I think it's basically if we stop, if we lower the methane concentration in the atmosphere now, or if we stop putting stuff in, that'll have a more rapid impact on global warming than carbon dioxide and others that last longer. But we still have a 50% chance of exceeding 1.5 degrees of global warming in just 7 years' time. So yeah, as crop failures become more common, solar-powered bioreactors could become a life support system. And with that in mind, I'd like to thank Rob, I hope you're watching, Rob, for all the work that he's done this week on cap modifications. I'll show you that cap shortly. So we're looking to grow edible hydrogen oxidizing bacteria, and we don't want to face the risks of hydrogen explosions. So 2 weeks ago, Narcissus helped me generate hydrogen in a reactor vial, so the bugs can consume the hydrogen as soon as it's produced. I'm hoping that this time it's not going to go that crazy green colour, because that's basically because we were just oxidizing one of my, the anode, I guess. Also, as you can see, my cap modifications weren't exactly ideal, so thanks to Rob for the help there. In the Journal Club, we then discussed how we could scale down Narcissus experiments to the 20 mil scale. Gerrit, what would you say was the main takes from the Journal Club?
Yeah. I mean, we discussed a whole bunch of things that came out of the paper, but I think some of the main things for me was we were talking about the advantages of using mixed over pure cultures. That when you use mixed cultures, sure, you still need to keep everything clean, but it doesn't have to be a completely sterile environment than what you would need with pure cultures, which would be, a good reason to consider mixed cultures when growing hydrogen oxidizing bacteria. We also discussed the continuous flow instead of batch process, where you are continuously adding and removing medium from the bioreactor, and the reasons why that is a good idea. And yeah, you already mentioned electrode material selection, that we were discussing that as well, and why you can use a stainless steel electrode for the cathode, but why you can't use that for the anode. And I think we may get into that in a moment on why we landed on where we landed. I think one of the main takeaways for me was that Narcissus mentioned that when the bacteria stops growing, that's when you should be sparging with CO2. So there's a reason, and that is we'll get into that in a second, why you need to be able to put CO2 into the system, and you need to do that when the bacteria stops growing. And with the bioreactor, we have an ideal method of knowing that. We can measure the optical density of what's going on, so we can measure the growth rate, so we know when the bacteria stops growing, which is something you can't do with each and every bioreactor. So I think that is one of the unique advantages that we have with the setup, which is great. We also got into power supply selection. What is a potentiostat, where you're trying to keep a constant voltage, and you've got a galvanostat, which we realized that whether you speak electrochemistry or whether you speak electrical engineering, you may call it a galvanostat, you may call it a constant power supply. And then, we went and well, I think it was Cam who had an aha moment in realizing that the LED driving circuits on the bioreactor can be used as a constant current source. Which is great, and then we can actually use the LED outputs for driving the electrodes.
So Rob, as I mentioned, wait there, I've lost my slides. Sorry. Right. So yeah, Rob's produced these what do you call them, models, designs, caps, which I'll show you shortly. I've also managed to hack down. So I tried and failed live, or was it just before the live show? Anyway, basically, I broke my my snippers trying to get through that. Spoke to my dad afterwards. He said use a hacksaw, and that worked beautifully. So with this, basically, I bought the whole platinum electrode for. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna try and get us all up on the screen here. So there it is. The platinum electrode, is that horribly out of focus? There we go. Back in. No, it's out. Oh, it doesn't like it. Come on. What's it focusing on? There, that'll do. And it's gone out again. So, anyway, I got the whole sheet for £9.39, I think, and I reckon I can make 10 electrodes out of that. So that's only 93 pence per platinum coated titanium electrode. So that's quite cool. And also, Narcissus mentioned that, in fact, I asked what happens when I cut this, because it's not going to be platinum anymore. Are we going to have oxidation issues? And yeah, titanium will oxidize to titanium dioxide, which is self-pacifying, so it should then be okay. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, let's try it now. What we did, just because it seemed to be going wrong, we thought we would try it anyway. We've got, can you see? Right, in the background here, yeah, so we've got these two DuPont connectors coming into port B on the Pioreactor. Then they're into these two crimp connectors, and I'm now going to just put some water in this. Okay.
Oh, I see we've got a comment from Rob. He's saying that there will be a new and improved file cap ready soon.
Oh yes, thanks, Rob. Sorry, could you, Laura? Was that quiet? Okay, could you say that again, just so that everyone can hear you? Because I could.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So, So I just noticed that there is a comment from Rob in the chat where he was saying that we will have a new and improved vial cap ready soon.
Yeah. So Rob has done at least three already that I showed you before. So there was one that has. So these are the ports for the silicon tubing to go through. So we'll have one for carbon dioxide going in, one for gas out, one for liquid in and liquid out. These are the liquid in and out. And he's doing another one so that basically we can have this. Oh, come on, focus. I think I'm going to get a new camera. So that we can have this a bit further back. And he's probably going to cluster the silicon tube ports around the cathode. But right, we've got that up now. And it's probably time to have a look at... there we go. My Pioreactor. I don't know if I should talk about what's happened here. Basically, I got ill, and so did the bugs. So I think two things happened actually. I think firstly the carbon dioxide was or no, maybe these didn't both happen at the same time. I thought it might be the carbon dioxide, so I tried giving it a bit of carbon dioxide there, and it sort of perked up a little bit. I also think it might have been I'm trying to remember what that increase was, but anyway, this increase I know was that I found in this Can we see this? Yeah. So basically, it was very not green in my bioreactor, and it looked like all the algae was there. So I'm wondering if just all the algae floated to the top and then got extracted out here. So I basically then, after it not reviving, I put it back in there, and now it seems to be happy enough. But anyway, that's not what we're doing today. Today we're doing this. So I think what I need to do now is go into bioreactors and then go into manage. And then can I just do this straight in LEDs, do you think? Channel A, channel B.
Oh, we're not looking at your bioreactor UI now.
You're not. No. How's
There we go.
that?
Yep.
In this one, I'm just wondering, if I should try and do something even. What happens if I do that? There we go. I'll try that screen. Right. So now it saves me from having to swap between everything, because they're both up. I'm going to try, I think, and just set this to 10%. And we'll see if anything happens. Oh, I need to press update or something, don't I? I need to find the right mouse first. There we go. So it says updating channel B to 10%. Are you seeing anything there, Cam? Gerrit, sorry? Or Cam, even if you're with us as well?
Oh, not seeing anything yet.
Okay, let's crank it up to 50. I'm just thinking that the probability of my wiring being the problem is fairly high, so I'm not going to go up in 10%.
And how much salt do you have in the water?
None. Good point. Well, let's go all the way up first and see if we do anything at all. But you're right, salt is quite likely the issue.
Yeah, we need some conductivity there.
I'm going to turn that back to 0. And then I'm going to take... Again, I haven't brought any common salt, which would just produce chlorine anyway, so it's maybe not the best thing. I'm going to grab a spatula, which is now quite hard to reach given the new camera position. And how much salt, I wonder? Right, that's a higher concentration than the spirulina would have, so it's hopefully sufficient. I'm going to take another cap. I'm going to mix this up.
So what salt is it that you added now?
That's the Power of Chi 777 spirulina media powder.
Oh, right.
Right. I think we've got some remnants of my 3D printing in there as well. I hope they don't cause problems. Right. Okay, so now I got salt. I think we're plugged in. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm gonna crank up.
Oh yeah, something's happening. I can see bubbles.
There's no electricity. Maybe there is electricity. Right, I've put it on 10% and updated it. I don't think there's... I don't know if the bubbles are producing any faster. Now gone to 50%. What should I do now? Shall I knock off the bubbles or increase the intensity?
Let's increase the intensity and see what happens.
Okay. 75%?
Yeah.
I'll try 100%, see if that... There we go.
Yeah.
Right, good. I think I'm now relatively happy that what we're seeing...
Yeah, that we actually have control about what we're doing here.
Yeah.
It's not just happening by itself.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think, while it's less vigorous than the last time, because it's, I presume, a lower current than last time, it's also not going a horrible colour. So I think my 90p worth of platinum in there is doing what it should.
Yeah.
Let's have us back on the screen. Right. Cool. So what we believe is happening here, and I didn't actually bring a lighter this time, so that was stupid of me, but never mind. On this side, the platinum side, we've got oxygen coming off, and on the other side we've got hydrogen. And that's about it. We don't have any bugs in there, so we're not expecting anything exciting to happen other than that. So basically what we've done is we have gone from an experimental concept that was too dangerous to try outside a very well-equipped lab to a setup with a rather clunky power supply that seemed to have everyone rather worried that I was going to fry myself 2 weeks ago. Certainly that seemed to be the conclusion of the journal club, that everyone was a little worried. To what we've now got is a rather neat self-contained solution that can be entirely controlled by the bioreactor interface and only requires a single power socket. So I'm pretty pleased with that, but it won't work. So yeah, Gerrit, why won't it work?
The oxygen.
The oxygen, that's it, exactly. So yeah, the problem is the oxygen. So basically when we turn on the current, we'll get hydrogen forming on the cathode, and twice as much oxygen on the anode, which is kind of what we're seeing. And the bugs will then grow as they eat the hydrogen. So we'll form more hydrogen and oxygen and grow more bugs as they eat the hydrogen, but the oxygen will start to build up and its concentration will increase in the solution up to the point where its concentration at the cathode results in it being reduced there. So it's going to be taking electrons from the cathode and hydrogens from around it and forming water. And so this cuts off the supply of hydrogen to the bugs, so they stop growing. So the question is, how did Narcissus get around this? And yeah, as Gerrit said, he purged the solution with carbon dioxide to flush away the oxygen. And fortunately, the Pioelectrolysis team have already demonstrated a carbon dioxide control project, so let's see it.
Hi everyone, I'm back to share a little CO2 reading project we've been working on. We've attached this pinch valve to the power supply. We've also attached this little CO2 sensor from Adafruit that we just put into a 3D printed box, and it fits into the vial like so. If you look closely, you can see the valve opening and closing. You'd attach your gas source to this to control the flow. And you can see I'm controlling this from the UI. And finally, we can view the CO2 readings in the UI. In just ambient air, it's reading around 900 ppm. And here's the whole setup.
And they've also done some documentation on the usage of pinch valves, which seem quite cool. Now, the issue with the pinch valves that I've come across was that they were like 500 yen, I think, for the pinch valve, but then 30,000 yen to have it shipped to me. So we looked at some other ones, and Gerrit, you also had found some potential solutions that we could use with that as well, right?
Yeah, so we were looking. So this is typically something that is done in an aquarium where you would want to add CO2 into your aquarium. So there does seem to be quite a few different solutions out there. Everything from DIY solutions where you are using yeast and sugar to generate some carbon monoxide to having solenoid valves and regulators and so on. I don't think we've settled on what exactly to use yet, but there does seem to be quite a few options.
Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, I mean, circling back to the issue of climate adaptation, I'd like to think that in the long term we're able to do some sort of useful fermentation that then produces enough carbon dioxide to purge the oxygen from the hydrogen oxidizing bacteria fermentation. That would be really cool. Perhaps even just taking the carbon dioxide from the activated sludge process. We've got the options. Rob found Cole Parmer do a pinch valve that's similar to the Japanese one. The trouble with that is it's quite expensive as well in its unit price. So, but then I think some of the ones that Gerrit found could be more affordable there and let us just use carbon dioxide. So I'm hoping we can just use a SodaStream cylinder for our carbon dioxide. But then long term, once we get this side, the hydrogen oxidizing bacteria side of things working, we can then hopefully switch over to something that's more scalable across the whole world. But yeah, do let us know in the comments where you think we should source our carbon dioxide. And yeah, I hope to be back next Wednesday with some progress on this. So please do subscribe and like and so on. And we're also meeting Gerrit's next Monday, is that right?
Yeah, next Monday, the 18th of December at 9 p.m. UTC.
Brilliant. It was great last time, so looking forward to seeing everyone there. And yeah, you'll need to head to the forum so that you can get a copy of the paper. So forum.amybo.org, and then you should be able to find the Journal Club discussion there. And we're very much looking forward to seeing you. We've seen from COP28 that the politicians are not going to save us, but together I think we can do a lot to both mitigate and also help the world adapt to climate change. So catch you in the next one. Thanks, Em. Bye.